It sank in 1857, as you said, in June, end of June. And we've been looking for it for quite a while. It's a challenging place down there. The bay is basically just sand, deep sand. So there's usually very little sticking above it to be able to locate. But using magnetometer and metal detectors and whatnot, we think we finally found it.
Can you tell us about the history of the ship? What was it doing here in Australia?
Yeah, so it was a merchant vessel, but it was also carrying, in this particular case, it went to Hong Kong, it picked up about 400 Chinese immigrants, and it brought them down to Robe. And the reason why it brought them to Robe was they were all heading to the goldfields over in Victoria, Ballarat and Bendigo. But the Victorian government at that time was trying to discourage immigrants and had put a 10-pound poll tax on all immigrants arriving by sea. So basically, to get around paying that poll tax, they started disembarking at Robe and then walking almost 500 kilometers overland to get to the goldfields.
Geez, that's a long way around to avoid some tax, but I can see why, because of the riches of the goldfields in Victoria. Okay, so what's next for this wreck? I mean, you think you've located it. What do you need to do to actually confirm it?
Well, that's a good question. Well, back in 2022, we were doing a magnetometer survey. We had a target, dived on it at that time, and were not able to see anything on the sea floor. So when we came back this year in March, we went back and ran a magnetometer over it again, picked up the same anomaly. And this time, fortunately, there was something that was protruding from the sand when we dived the wreck, or dived the target. We think it's a windlass, which was used to haul up the anchor of the vessel. But and then underneath it, we were able to detect a wooden plank. So that gives us a lot of hope that there's quite a bit of structure still there buried in the sand. But so we're going to go back. It's a tricky place. The visibility there is very poor. The sediment in the bay there is very fine, and it gets stirred up very easily by wave action. And then, of course, when you dive, divers working around the area also stir it up, and the visibility can drop to basically zero, which was actually what happened on one of the days we were recording the windlass. Yeah, but we try to pick the right time when the tides are right and the winds are right. But it comes down to luck, that when the sand has been moved off enough that something is actually sticking up. So we'll go back and we'll try to find more of the structure underneath the sand, and more that we can confirm. But we're quite confident that that is the wreck.
Well, it's been a long search so far. I hope you get good conditions and are able to get in there and maybe find a ship's bell or something with a name on it. Hey, Mark, thank you so much for joining us there in Adelaide this morning.
No worries.